What about me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
I will say this: I
loud
have a
and
thing
clear.
for kind of stuttering and having to think. That can be edited out, or
Oh no,
we
we
love
We
it.
like it raw. And, I mean, we like it, you know. Sorry.
it's all good.
My brain does not work right now, so you'll have to excuse anything that comes out of my mouth.
Okay,
so
well, my favorite word
sorry.
tonight might be so.
That's fine.
It's all good. All right. If you can hear us, you want to count us in?
Yes. 3, 2, 1, go.
Boom. What's up, all you fucking creatures of the night? Welcome to another episode of Necro Electric.
Yeah.
I'm your host, Sean D. Skellington. This is my eternal love, Kylie. And here is the...
Aw.
And
That's what I
here
like to
is
see.
and here's the lady of the levels, Jordan Cheek.
That's it. That one's sticking.
Lady of the levels. Ooh, I
like
like
it.
that.
I like that one.
Okay. Sure. And today we got a special guest, Mr. Matt Mcgovern, a.k.a. Matt Savage.
There you go. You totally finished my sentence for me. You're really great at doing that. Thank you so
Yeah.
much.
Matt Savage.
All the cool people call me Matt Savage.
Matt works for Fox 44. He's a photographer. He's a wrestler. He does all kinds of cool stuff we're going to hear about.
A wrestler?
He likes to dabble, right? Are you a wrestling fan?
Well,
pretty
I
much.
am a wrestling fan, and I can at least say I've wrestled for fun. Never like super competitively, but I do know a few moves, and I could break your leg if I really wanted to.
So like, don't.
Sounds
fuck
like a
with
threat,
him.
Jordan.
Look, I'm already banged up enough as it is. I don't need anybody
Ask
else
her why
breaking
she's wearing the
anything.
glasses.
Maybe yeah.
Just say the
Yeah.
lenses match her eye.
Yeah, they
Oh,
kind of
no.
do. It was an accident.
She got in a bar fight.
That's what I should tell people. I should be like, you should
Yeah.
see the other girl.
Yeah,
Like, I
there you
kicked
go.
ass.
Yeah, I'm good at making connections and telling stories. I got your back.
Yeah, there you
Cool.
go.
I'm all about it.
Since this is Matt's first time on the show, we got to do Who the Hell Are You? So you get 3 questions. First question, vampire hunter, warlock.
I like
What?
choices.
Which?
No, he's a warlock. He wouldn't be a witch. Werewolf or monster hunter?
Oh gosh, those all sound absolutely amazing. Great movie fodder, but I got to go with Monster Hunter because I mean a monster. There's just a lot of traits and a lot of stuff to work with there. It has
There you
near
go.
infinite possibilities.
He's thinking about his career with that one. Mm-hmm. You're the first one to pick that.
Really?
Yeah, most people want to be the monster.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, there were times back in the day where I was called a monster, but thankfully not so much anymore.
Oh,
But,
God.
We'll be diving into that for sure.
Yeah, but I mean they're all cool. But I mean, just Monster Hunter. I feel like you can make an easy franchise out of that one.
Yeah. I'm sure there are.
Well, I
Video
mean,
game.
Van Helsing is the first thing
Yeah,
that comes to my
there you
mind.
go.
So, of course.
Yeah.
Question 2, what kind of porn do you watch?
Okay, I saw previous episodes and I was prepared for this. So I'm just going to say, without any type of stalling, aside from me trying to think of my words, I got to go with MILFs in bikinis poolside.
Whoa.
That is
Oh,
specific.
very specific.
Yeah,
like some cougars.
Oh yeah, I mean, it's all about whenever the pool boy just like all of a sudden just sees
All
something
right,
that he
we've got a
shouldn't.
pool boy.
Cabana boy.
Yeah, I'll just leave it at that.
Nice, dude.
I love how everyone is so different. It's so
I know. I know.
It's what keeps people watching, right?
Yeah. And where are you from?
Okay, originally I'm from a small town in Mississippi called Ellisville. It's like right in the middle of South Mississippi. It's about 2 hours south of Jackson and 2 hours north of Biloxi, the beach area, the Gulf Coast. So I mean, you know, like an easy trip would either take you to the city or to the beach. I was like right in the middle.
How many stoplights did you have?
Okay. Actually, thanks to a really awesome junior college that has a lot of people going there for
so
many,
it's not
many years.
that rural of a town.
Yeah, it would be if it wasn't for that junior college. I mean, I went there. It was a great experience. But, you know, there's a lot more stoplights than you'd think, mainly because of that. So let's just go with 20 stoplights.
Guesstimate 20.
Did you have a community college in
No.
bumfuck Texas?
No, but I do love the cities that are centered around the colleges, like Stephenville or Nacogdoches
Or Waco.
Waco. Like it's all the only reason they have an economy or any kind of life in that city is because of the colleges, and you can tell But those kinds of cities are always kind of cool because the interesting little things pop up and you meet interesting people. So
Yep.
Dope. Well, before we get too far into it, go to YouTube, which you're probably already there right now.
Yeah.
So just hit the fucking button.
do it.
You have to do it with your
Just
fist
hit
as
it.
hard as you
Do
can. If you don't have blood, then you haven't hit it hard enough.
You heard the man. Go do it.
So what brought you to Waco?
Well, my job did. I mean, I've been working in the TV and the news industry for over 9 years now.
Oh, wow.
And usually, if you want any real opportunity and you want to make better money, you kind of have to move where the opportunities are in this business. And right now, I'm working for my 4th TV station in 9 years. I'm blessed to say that I started off in my hometown. I started at my home station because I had connections, mainly my mom. So
Shout out.
Shout out to Mom.
Yeah, hi, Mom. And needless to say, my travels just brought me here. The very first time I moved to Texas, I actually lived and worked in Temple and worked at Channel 6. And, somebody there could be watching, so I can't really say what I really think or what it was really like over there.
He loves you all.
Maybe some of y'all. But I moved to Waco just because the job at Fox 44 brought me there. Ever
Nice.
since June 2017, which should be about 3 years by the time this actually airs. I've been working as the main web producer for the news team. So if anybody out there goes to the Fox 44 website, fox44news.com, and you look for us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, that's me posting most of that stuff, at least on weeknights between 2 p.m. and 10 p.m. So if you ever visit our website or social media during that time and you appreciate all the work that's being done during that time, you can owe me a steak and lobster dinner.
There you go.
So are you the one that fields all the negative comments that people leave? Are you the one that has to answer when somebody's like, you guys suck, or you don't report the right stuff? Because I've been to that Facebook page and people have a lot to say. Mostly, it's a mix between like negative and positives. So I'm just curious as to who fields that and how you deal with that.
Okay, well, needless to say, if it's before I come in, it's either the other web producer or really just anybody in news. But, with every job, whether it's news or just anything where you have to deal with the public, you're going to get stuff like that. It's unavoidable.
That's for sure.
Yep.
Even on a personal fucking Facebook post, you're going to get that.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. But yes, I mean, with any job that deals with people, we have to be as professional as we can be. Depending on the type of person we get or the type of question we answer, they could just be, idiots trying to do something stupid because they're bored. Those are fun to deal with.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, we do have to respond to as many as we can. Thankfully, right now, knock on wood, most of those come through just Facebook messages that are directly to us that most people don't see. And, I'm the one who answers most of those. And, I just try to be the most helpful person I can be and be a good representative. That's pretty
Well, that's
much it.
good.
Nice.
That's
Now go
good.
to his Facebook page and tell him he did a good job on Necro Electric.
Yeah.
And Skellington Curiosities.
Yeah.
Yeah, I actually did what I could to help you out. It wasn't
we
easy,
appreciate
but yeah.
He wrote an article about us, and I guess there was a little bit of pushback about our store.
Okay. Well, I mean, I know for a fact I could get away with promoting y'all on our social media.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it was a little weird to do that because we're not the department that has to try to like make commercials out of people, but
Right.
but I at least wanted to try to get the word out about your event, and I did to the
Thank
best of
you.
what I could.
Yeah,
You know,
we
Yeah, that's
appreciate it.
awesome.
Appreciate it. We really
Yeah.
appreciate
I'll
it.
support you guys however I can.
Any little bit helps, man.
Speaking of events,
Yeah,
the next market is going to be June 28th.
Woo!
glad to hear it. Okay.
Yay, we're getting back to it.
But we're going to be still practicing
Yes,
all social distancing.
of course.
Yeah.
Are y'all gonna like?
We'll have sanitizing stations. Everybody's going to be spread out.
Yeah.
It's going to be fun.
Mask.
So is that going to drastically cut down how many vendors you have?
No.
We have a very large parking lot, so
Yeah.
so we can spread out the love.
Yeah.
It's
No, we're
fine.
still going to have like 20 vendors and 2 food trucks.
Oh, okay.
So-
Okay.
Yeah. So everyone, June 28th, 12 to 4 p.m., come out and have fun.
Yeah, it's a good time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I know a good amount of people to talk to about this. I can probably even bring some of them, methinks.
Yeah.
Nice.
That would be really awesome,
And
actually.
we are accepting vendor applications on the SkellingtonCuriosities.com website. So go to the footer and there's a link to the vendor application.
Yeah. If you,
Is that our first ad?
I would say so.
I'm trying to get the word out because this is exciting to me.
Yeah. No, it's exciting. What's like some of the crazy stories you've come across since joining Fox 44?
Well, let's see. It depends. What's your definition of crazy?
Anything.
Yeah, anything at all. People, weird stories, people interviews that people have had or anything like that. It's really just whatever weirdness happens.
Yeah, the short time that I've lived here, a year and a half, I've seen a ton of crazy shit. I've seen the elderly, on the Hewitt Walmart.
Yep.
I've seen them tackle that when you pull in. There's that large island that separates the incoming from the outgoing.
Yes.
I saw an old lady Dukes and Hazard that motherfucker. I've had encounters at every donut shop here. I've HEB.
You just shouldn't be allowed in public anymore.
All kinds. I know you've heard and seen some crazy stuff.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I've been doing this for so long. I mean, like I started off as a production assistant, and there was a short time whenever I was actually like a creative services photographer. I was even a reporter for a very short time just to try to get some experience. And then I was a news photographer in 2 different markets, and then, the web producer thing just kind of happened, and that's the one that I've been sticking with the longest. But I mean, no matter where you are and no matter what your role is, if you've been doing this for 9 years, a lot of this stuff just kind of runs together.
You get desensitized?
Okay, some people might, but for me, it's just like, another day on the job,
Gotcha.
Yeah, I mean, I'm trying to think. Some of the craziest ones actually happened when I was in Laredo, which was before I came here. But since you asked about Waco, around the first time I came here, I want to say in 2017, I remember there being a guy who went to jail for like literally hundreds of cases of raping minors.
Oh,
shit. That was fun.
It got dark real quick.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Well, what did you expect him to say?
We did say anything, Sean. We opened that door, and
on a podcast like this, I'm surprised he even got shocked with something like that.
Yeah.
I don't like anything with kids.
Well,
even minors, kids, or anything.
Yeah.
Like I don't even like horror movies that have to do with kids or anything. I don't know.
Well, yeah, I understand that. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, like some of the weird ones that are out there, at least on the negative front, are your typical mugshot stories where we we run through like all the people who went to all the jails, what they're being held for. We get more information, we get mugshots, stuff like that. And then pretty much everything else is usually just like really hard-hitting stories. There's breaking news, which for me is fun because if we ever get breaking news, I have to get it out there immediately while other people just get it ready for a certain show time. I basically have to drop everything and just be like, okay, here we go. Psh, there it is. Psh, there it is.
With all the riots going on, has there been anything breaking in the Waco area yet?
Let's see. Not that I've heard of. I mean, obviously, this is a hot little topic right now.
Yeah.
What I will say, the closest thing is that people like the Waco Police Department and the Hewitt Police Department, they've all sent out press releases on, just addressing the public on, what they're doing with their staff, like how their officers are trained, what they're supposed to do in a certain situation. So, I mean, they're basically just giving insights on what they think of what's going on and the protocol for training their officers. But as far as actual, like, riots and protests and peaceful protests goes, I want to say there was one that we reported on somewhere in Bell County. I don't remember the exact details, but like McLennan County around here, I haven't heard anything yet. I mean, this isn't technically our area, but I do know that like northbound I-35 outside of like the heart of downtown Austin, that was closed today because of the peaceful protests like right in the middle of the road.
Yeah.
I can't believe these people are just going out into the road and stopping these cars and traffic. It's crazy.
I mean, I'm all about like protests, peaceful protests, like whatever you feel like you need to do. And I'm one of those people that if it was happening in Waco, I would go to these things. But doing it on a major highway where you are more likely to injure yourself or someone else, it be like a little bit of common sense. Like if you want to say something, say it, but don't say it at the risk of hurting yourself.
Exactly. Yes, I'm on the same page with you.
Yeah. But I have a feeling that they're going to head this way because, it's happening in Austin a lot quicker than I thought, and it's happening tremendously in Dallas. I mean, the news coming out of Dallas is crazy. So I will not be surprised if in the next week or so we'll start having some kind of gatherings or protests in Waco and everything like that. But like I said, if that happens, I'm going to be there. I'm one of those people. I will be there.
Right. Yeah. Well, I mean, from a news standpoint, I haven't heard of anything. I mean, obviously, I wouldn't unless it was starting up. Because I mean, in news, we fly by the seat of our pants. It's not like you can plan something like that. At least from a news standpoint. But Yeah, I mean, it's very new into this whole thing. So I mean, who's to say?
Yeah, for sure. What was something that inspired you to get into this line of work? I mean, like was it something when you were small or when you got to be an adult?
Okay, so no joke, it was mainly my mom, and I kind of figured we'd come back to this. My mom, she's retired now, but she worked in creative services at my home station for 35 years, and she was creative services director for 25 years. Nice. And in case y'all or anybody listening right now doesn't know what creative services is, that's basically the department of any TV station that works with special projects and working with sales and filming commercials and ads for their clients. Like creative services, they work with like people in the area. They'll film stuff and then they'll edit it. They basically just do creative stuff. Hence the name Creative Services. And being the son of a creative services person, I grew up actually in commercials and going to TV stations, and like the veterans at my home station that that had been there for years in all departments, they knew me ever since I was a fetus, basically.
A hometown child star?
Every now and then. I mean, there was actually something that resurfaced around this time last year. I actually put it on my YouTube channel, Matt McG87 on YouTube, and there's actually
shameless plug.
Yep, and there's actually a still photo on my Instagram at Matt Savage Champ. And but needless to say, this was a Mother's Day promo that was done strictly for fun and to put during commercial time just to eat up some time on the air. It was basically a 2-minute Mother's Day promo where like staff members at the time were doing stuff saying Happy Mother's Day to their loved ones, and in that commercial there was about 20 seconds of my mom reading to me, and I was 1 year old. My cheeks were so freaking chubby. It was
how cute.
Yeah, I mean,
that's adorable.
So to my knowledge, the earliest time I was ever on TV was whenever I was 1 year old in 1988.
Nice.
And every now and then I made the occasional cameo in a commercial whenever a kid was needed. It was cool.
That is pretty cool.
Yeah. So after that, I mean, fast forward many years, I'm in college, and big surprise, I cared more about having fun and making friends. I didn't really know what I wanted to do with my life, but I felt like if I really wanted to be happy, I needed to pick something cool that, I could be proud of, and that it would be cool to go to work every day.
Yeah.
And the only thing
So you picked pro wrestling and then landed at Fox 44?
Well, let me put it this way. One of the best, if I lived in Texas when I was in college, and if I lived outside of Dallas, I probably would have gone to the DFW Wrestling Academy, which is the best in the state, so if only.
They have a wrestling academy?
Oh, yeah. There's a few all over Texas, but the best one that has the best students that go on to get the best careers is, I want to say it's called the DFW Wrestling Academy. It probably has another name too, but if you ever hear of any famous wrestler coming from Texas, there's like a 33% chance that they went to that school, if not the one in Houston or San Antonio.
So what did
All
they...
the most legendary wrestlers are from Texas.
Who?
Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Shawn Michaels.
Dusty Rhodes. Shawn Michaels.
Okay, so I did not grow up watching wrestling, mostly because my parents wouldn't let me, but also because it was not something that was interesting to me.
Sweaty men rolling around.
Well, there was a kid that I rode the bus. I rode the bus with this kid, and every single day he wore a Stone Cold Steve Austin t-shirt every single day, and I would always be like, what is that? He's like, it's wrestling, and I'm like, what is that? He was like, oh, it's so awesome, you should come over and watch it with me sometime. And I'm like, no thanks, I don't know what that is, but I don't care to watch it. But I never really got into it, and it's only in my...
He's trying to put the stunner on you.
Yeah.
Well, wait, what is that?
Stand up and I'll show you.
No thanks.
No,
Stone Cold Steve Austin's finishing move.
Okay, so I don't, so all of that is just Russian to me, because I'm just like, cool,
Is that
wrestling.
like a KO move? Like in Mortal Kombat?
Basically. Oh, great reference. That's another one of my favorite things in the world.
Mortal Kombat? I love that game.
Yeah, but a stoner is basically, if you get your opponent's guard down, you have to like either kick or knee him or her in the stomach, and then you have to like turn around and grab their neck and then just kind of like fall down while you're holding them. That's pretty much
okay.
it.
I think I've seen like clips of that.
Yeah.
What do they teach at the academy? Is it mostly like how to be good at fake wrestling, or is it like trying to build like a character?
Like with any sport, you have to know how to fall, or else you'll break your bones. You have to be able to dive off the top rope and not break that guy's ribs and yours too.
Yeah.
It's all.
I mean,
you could be
wrestling's
trained.
totally real.
Well, it is. It is if you bring like blunt objects into it.
Yeah, but
ECW.
those people that get hit by okay, so I did date a wrestler for probably 3 months, and it was
Diamond Dallas Page.
no, he's not. He was not
I think he's like 30 years older than her. So good job.
I did not. Not a famous wrestler, like somebody who was trying to be a famous wrestler, and they watched. What's the wrestling show that comes on Wednesdays? It's like
NXT maybe.
I don't know. It's like a
WWE.
Raw. I don't know what it is.
Raw.
It's either NXT or AEW Dynamite.
I don't know, but I watched it with this dude, and I didn't understand. I was like, "Why? What is happening?" He's like, "It's it's like theater, but more sweaty and less clothes." And I'm like, "I guess so." But they're like hitting each other with chairs and throwing each other out of the ring. And sometimes you can tell that it looks super fake because they're very dramatic with their arms and flailing around. But other people, it does not look fake, and you're like, "Holy shit, that guy is dead. He has to be
He
dead."
has to be dead.
Well, I will say a great man who used to be a pro wrestler who is now, or at least last time I heard, governor of Minnesota, Jesse the Body Ventura.
Predator.
He says, and this is like one of the most famous quotes about the business, wrestling is like ballet with violence.
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Well, and for me too, when I grew up, I watched wrestling in the very late 80s and like mid 90s when I was a little kid. And for me, it was they were like superheroes, because back then you had like Macho Man, Hulk Hogan, you had the Ultimate Warrior, you had all these people that were larger than life. They were on so many steroids that their bodies were literally like larger than life, you know what I mean? So as a little kid, you're watching this, it's like watching comic heroes just battle in real life.
Because I am a true crime buff, I only know so much about wrestling because of people who have like died or people.
Everybody has died.
Everybody
from the 80s is
true.
Is done.
Well, not
except
everybody.
For Hulk.
Not everybody, but
pretty close.
I mean, like, it is common that a wrestler will eventually pass away because I mean it just does so much wear and tear on your body. But
some of them have found like their golden ticket. Like I think about The Rock. I always think about him in the way of like he did wrestling for so long, and now most people who don't know that he was a wrestler, they look at him as an actor, and it's just crazy to me. He was like, okay, I'm gonna find that place where I can come in and do all of these cheesy movies, but also become this huge icon. And he managed to find a way to still be famous without wrestling and without hurting himself, because most of them are going to die from like concussions or like long-term wear and tear.
All like the super big stars, the late 80s and stuff, it was like huge cocaine scene. So when you start mixing cocaine and massive steroids, your heart can only take so much.
Well, I think about wrestlers.
Even the guys that got off of it, they had done so much damage that it is inevitable.
Yeah, all their cartilage is just putty now. I think about people like Chris Benoit, who like
that's a totally different thing.
Yeah, but that was mostly, they were thinking had to do with him having the what is it, the CCE or whatever, like with the concussion and the steroids.
She doesn't know anything about it.
Oh yeah, it was a guy who like
murdered his wife and kids.
And then himself.
It was very dramatic. But learning about this, I learned about all of these other people who have like in the ring or just by themselves or whatever outside of the ring that have died tragically. And I'm like, why would anybody be like that? I want to do that professionally. Why would it doesn't make sense.
You're an athletic rock star.
Yeah. Plus, I mean, like back in the day, like in the 70s and 80s and early 90s, most of the moves were like pretty basic, and sure, you did need skill to do some of them, but some were basic. And then all of a sudden, like the audiences grew up and times were changing, and now you basically have to have something short of a human sacrifice in order to get a pop and a cheer and everything.
Well, what happened was a company called ECW started, and then they brought the hardcore stuff with the barbed wire, the glass, all the crazy gnarly stuff, and in that sport, once you step it up to that next level, there's no going back because it's boring after that point. So then even in the normal stuff like the WCW, WWE, then you start getting all the luchador guys doing like 10 backflips off the shit into the crowd.
My first TV crush was a wrestler.
Really?
Who was it?
I'm pretty sure it was Cage. The guy with the long blonde hair.
I think you're thinking of Raven.
Raven.
Yeah, the guy with the flannel. And he would like sit in the corner.
Yes.
Like, all solvent. Yeah, it's Raven.
Yeah, that's Raven. But yeah, I mean, like, no joke, because I mean, back like in the 30s and 40s, you have like legends who had black and white matches. Ed the Strangler Lewis, he put his opponent in a sleeper hold and held it for like 10 minutes, and everybody, they didn't get bored. They thought it was the best thing ever. Yeah. And now you have people who they're lighting tables on fire, and then they're pile driving somebody 20 feet in the air onto that table.
That's insane.
Yeah, my grandfather, he was a Green Beret. And like that's all he would do all day is watch. We'd watch wrestling, boxing. When UFC started, you know, it's just all just combat sports.
Yeah.
So I sat through all that.
Yeah.
I look like an MMA fighter now. I could get away with
Yeah.
saying that.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, real quick, I know we got off topic, but just to finally give you an answer of how I got where I am today, it's all good. Beautiful distractions. Basically, I tried to do what my mom did, and I did, but there just happened to be more of an opening for opportunity and news, and one thing led to another, and before you know it, I became a Texan, and I'm living a good life. That's pretty much it.
So wait, you totally glossed over the fact that you got into wrestling, like you were actually like wrestling in amateur wrestling.
Well, I mean, I was never a member of like an indie organization or anything. If anything, I just did it for fun with my friends and everything.
Oh,
Basically,
so like backyard wrestling.
something like that. Yeah.
Scuba belly style.
Yeah. I can at least say I know a thing or two. I mean, if I was younger, I'd probably try to come out of retirement and try to do something. I mean, never say never, but it's not in the cards right now. I mean, Matt Savage, you know, the real Matt Savage, he'll appear.
Savage.
You could do it.
Give me a soundbite of that.
So did you like ever get any major injuries, or did any of your friends ever get major injuries from backyard wrestling?
Let's see. Nah. I mean, like we did have some moves that, you know, required skill, but most of it was like, you know, the basic stuff, like level 1, some level 2 stuff.
You just grappling at each other?
Yeah. I will say I've been through a table and it didn't hurt. It was actually kind of fun. I could do it again. And there was one time whenever I unexpectedly got myself caught on barbed wire. Thankfully, it wasn't too bad, but I mean, it did kind of take some skin off one of my hands, but I healed quick. It was okay.
Jeez.
Real quick, we got time for Nat.
Yeah.
Nice transition.
This episode is brought to you by Skellington Curiosities. Skellington Curiosities is the only curiosities and oddity shop in Waco, Texas, full of clothing, lingerie, accessories, oddities, and everyday curiosities. A spooky vibe 365. Visit us online at skellingtoncuriosities.com.
That's right.
Thank you.
I actually get mistaken by little kids as Matt Hardy.
Yeah.
All the fucking time.
I can see
he
that.
does.
I was
Matt
I had
Hardy?
Bane at he's part of the Hardy Boys, or tag team.
Oh.
But
Okay.
yeah, I was at
Hold on, I'll look up a picture of him.
Okay.
He now goes by Broken Matt Hardy or something of the sort, where he's a crazy version of what he used to be. He has a blonde streak in his hair, and he has premonitions of the future.
Holy shit. I guess.
So yeah, get a blonde streak and talk like that.
Oh, I can't really see, but I'm going to take your word for it.
I forgot you have one eye.
yeah. But I was
I can kind of see
I was
that.
at Jump and Play with Bane,
But his
and
hair was shorter.
and these little kids ran up. They're like, "Are you Matt Hardy?" And then the mom was like, "Please say yes. Please
Please
say
say
yes."
yes.
And I was like, "Yeah." They're like, "Is that your son?" And then they're like, "Your dad's Matt Hardy." And then they like, it was the whole thing.
They were like, let's play with Matt Hardy's
Yeah.
son.
Shout out to Matt Hardy. So you also, I see online a lot too. You do a lot of photography.
Yeah, I've done it on and off. Well, I mean, for the most part, it's been a hobby, but I've done it semi-regularly ever since like 2014. But I started off doing like water sports photography and jet skis. I'm actually big into jet skis. I don't own my own, unfortunately, but I'm no stranger to riding them, being around the Texas scene and everything. And whenever I really got into them, there's this magazine, a worldwide magazine based out of Georgia, and this is totally a shout out. It's called Pro Rider Watercraft Magazine.
Sounds serious.
Yep. And I mean, it's basically owned at this time owned and operated by one of like the biggest freestylers in the world, and his good old mom. She's a peach. Michael and Kathy Ratty. They're awesome.
Shout out.
Awesome.
Yep. But I contacted him years ago and I told him I was a big fan and I was like, hey, if anything ever comes to Texas, I'm actually pretty good with the camera and writing articles. Is it okay if I go to it and cover it for you? Like, would you use it or could I submit it? And they were like, yeah, sure, go ahead. But the first thing I went to, it actually wasn't a competitive event. It was this annual jet ski extravaganza that's at Lake Travis in Austin every summertime.
Huh,
and
cool.
So sure enough, I went to it and I covered it. I sold it for all it was worth, and sure enough, it got published. And fast forward to 2020, and I am now a 12-time published photographer and writer for Pro Writer.
Dang.
Nice.
Congratulations.
Yeah.
Good job, man.
I can definitely say that. It definitely makes the resume stand out, and pretty much every article I've done is in my portfolio, so to speak. And about a year and a half ago, I somehow, almost entirely by accident, figured out about portrait photography. Like, I saw that there were outlets like around here and all over Texas for like models and portrait photographers. So I thought, I wonder what it would take to get into that. So I researched it, I looked into it, and thanks to some awesome people, I got into it. And sure enough, I've been doing that for a little over a year now.
Nice.
So,
Our last guest, he was into Suicide Girl stuff. Do you ever get into that, or is it just above the?
Well, let me put it this way: when I was a teenager and I first discovered Suicide Girls, I thought it was one of the most amazing things I'd ever seen.
Yeah.
Apparently, everyone knows about Suicide Girls but me.
Yeah, well, and also I can at least say I'm Facebook friends with a few of them from Texas, but I mean it's strictly just Facebook friends. It's not like I've actually met them or anything. But yeah, I can at least say that that's kind of tailored toward me a little bit. But I mean, I actually took one step further and I was like, you know what? I feel like I got something to prove. Maybe I can step in front of the camera and do some modeling. And I've done that from time to time. I've been doing that for a little over a year. I definitely have more experience in photography, but I mean, if the opportunity ever comes up for some modeling, why not? I mean, I think I got something to prove.
So you do like single person portraiture, like headshots and things like that? Or is it mostly like family pictures or group pictures or
that? Well, it depends. I mean, like I have taken pictures of kids and animals, but mostly it's just like portrait photography. Like for the most part, there's like these group meetups with like certain themes and everything. Like obviously I took a little bit of a break because of coronavirus, but last weekend there was a big group shoot in the Dallas area, and it was at this place called the Fabrication Yard, where it's basically just like a street urban graffiti paradise.
Oh,
I mean,
I've seen you post a couple pictures recently with that graffiti background.
Oh
Is
yeah,
that what that's
I'm in
from?
the middle of doing that. Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, I have a weakness for like urban street punk stuff like that. But yeah, I mean, like I got a bunch of pictures, met some awesome people, and I'm about to post some where I'm in front of the camera. I kind of alternate, just stuff like that.
Nice.
And I mean, I've been to stuff where what else? There was an outdoor shoot where we went to like an outdoor area, and some of the models I know, they also have horses, so we got horses into the mix too.
Nice.
It just depends. And recently I've been invited to a group shoot with like an 80s theme and also a boudoir one, but it just depends on my schedule for both.
Ooh, super spicy.
And speaking of boudoir, I'll go ahead and tell you right now, yes, I've done it in front of the camera, but because of...
What? Yes.
But because of word getting around, I had to hide them. So, I mean, they're
some
carefully
bearskin rug shit.
Not quite, but not quite. I mean, I can say I've done it. I could do it again, but I'm in no rush to. It was just something I did.
They're fun.
She did it too.
Yeah, I did it for my fiance's birthday, and it's one of those. It's very nerve-wracking going in because you're like, I don't really know like what to expect or what. But a girl came in and did my hair and my makeup, and like they were very professional. The guy was very professional. He had several assistants that came in to help me, so it wasn't awkward at all. So, but at the end of the day, I was like, that was super fun. I kind of want to do another one.
Yeah.
That was fun.
I know, I've been making lingerie for like 6 years, and I wear it, but I've never like modeled it.
She hasn't. Check out my phone.
I can
Never modeled it.
Bullshit.
I can get you the hookup. The person that did because I'll have to show you some of my pictures, but the person that did mine would do fabulous with yours because he also does very stylistic
we should upload
pictures.
Both of you guys'
Oh, if it's a man, I can't do it.
I thought that too. I thought that too.
I'd have to
but
be
it
with a
wasn't.
woman.
Well, okay, that makes sense. That makes sense. Because I thought that too, and I was like, this is going to be super weird, but it wasn't. Like it was very. I was very comfortable.
Yeah.
Was your photographer man or woman?
It was a man.
Oh.
But hey, I mean, like he was very professional. He was easygoing. I mean, he even like cracked the occasional joke and tried to make people laugh to get more comfortable and everything. So I mean, it could have been a lot worse. But I mean, it was a guy who had done it before, very professional. And I mean, I got my pictures back in a reasonable amount of time. It was a good experience.
Yeah.
It was.
Nice.
But you, I mean, I kind of feel like I got into the wrong industry because you can make bank with boudoir pictures, because people like to do it a lot as gifts, and they will buy like the top packages with the pretty books.
Some
and
of
the pretty
packages are like over $1,000.
Yeah, but people will do it, and they'll pay the extra to get their makeup and their hair done. So because I used to do photography a long time ago, and I in my mind I'm like, you know what, I could do it. I could pick that back up. It's no big deal. But it takes a lot, because you have to have a space to do it, and you have to have the like some costume pieces and things like that. And I'm like, I don't have enough energy for that.
I wouldn't be able.
We already know how you feel about boudoir pictures as a gift.
Although I would say that if you did do that one time, I would have to see them, because I would be in total shock. I'd be like, what? You did? Really? I mean, this is, oh my God, my mind is blown.
We got time for one more ad.
Yeah. This episode is brought to you by Mod Ministry. Mod Ministry merch creates for the edgy woman, the kind of woman who works hard but plays much harder, who embraces femininity but tests the societal limits. We are not for the faint of heart. We are bold. We are beautiful. Check out Mod Ministry Etsy page for handmade lingerie. 5-star rated seller since 2014.
Strap it in them boudoir photos.
Yeah.
Very bold and very beautiful.
Indeed, indeed.
Cool. I mean, we're getting towards the midnight hour here.
Yeah,
Whew, that went fast.
it did.
Super
It went
fast.
Very fast.
So do you got some shout outs?
Oh, shout out to my mind went blank again. Shout out to you guys for being awesome, for being extremely understanding during this weird FaceTime that I'm having.
She's got a black eye.
I do have a black eye. Maybe we'll talk about that later on another episode when it's not so sensitive.
Oscar
You look
Roundhouse.
fine. I promise.
Thank you. I appreciate that. But yeah, for you guys, for, opening this avenue of awesomeness. I remember telling Sean that I've been trying to get into doing film and this stuff for years, and it's like starting to happen, and I'm super excited about it, and excited to see where all of this goes, especially once we get the movie done and kind of off the ground. So yeah, I'm very thankful for you guys. Shout out.
Oh, that was sweet.
Cool.
I
So
try.
sweet. Thanks to everybody for coming and acting on it so far.
Yeah, I mean, I showed interest in wanting to do something. That's still out there, right?
Yeah, and you're still on the list.
Okay, sweet. I look forward to seeing what happens.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. It's actually coming along pretty good right now. So I'm stoked.
Now, are you shooting for like a short film or like a hour and a
Nope.
half type movie?
120 minutes.
Okay, cool.
Full length.
Full length feature, baby. And it's incorporating all the heavy hitters in Waco, so
Yeah.
Cool.
so be on the lookout for
If you
that.
think you're a heavy hitter, hit us up.
If you think you got something to prove and if you think you can make a difference, hit them up.
What he said.
What about you, love?
I want to give a shout out to Blissfire Reiki. I actually had a session with her last week.
Nice.
And it was my first one ever, and I was super, super nervous. So I definitely want to do it again. But yeah, it was a really good
Did
experience.
she get in tune with your energy?
She did. She got all up in my energy.
All up in.
All up in it. It was great. No, it was a really, really good experience. And like, for anyone who's a little bit skeptical, like, just leave an
Like
open
me.
mind. Just try it. You should try it.
I'm not skeptical of it. I'm just, and I love them. They're the nicest people ever. But like, it would be absolute hell for me to sit in a chair and have somebody just like circle me and try to like make a connection. Like,
You and Oscar both.
there's no way I could do it.
Yeah.
I enjoyed it very much.
What about you, Matt? Have you ever messed with tarot
Reiki,
or
tarot.
any of that kind of stuff?
I don't think I've ever heard of it.
Blissfire Reiki. Watch that episode. They kind of go through the whole thing.
Okay.
It was like
Two episodes.
2 episodes ago. Yeah.
I want to say
It's energy healing.
Okay, because
It's got Bobby moles. She's got like the white braids, long white braids.
Yeah, because I've seen a few episodes, but that one's not ringing a bell. I guess that'll
Cassie.
be my homework.
Yep.
Yeah, check it out.
You have
She's
any
local.
shout outs?
Let's see. Well, just off the top of my head, besides the shout outs I already gave, anybody tuning in right now just to see little old me, no matter where you live, whether it's Mississippi, Texas, or even in other countries, thanks for tuning in. I hope I made you laugh and I hope you learned something. And from the bottom of my heart, I want to give a shout out to my friend Michaela. You know who you are. You got a birthday coming up. Happy birthday, and I can't wait to see you soon.
Oh, snap.
Is that a special lady friend? I'm getting the feeling.
Well,
Get them boudoir photos ready.
I will say she does mean a lot to me, and she definitely plays a big part in my life. That's really all I can say.
What's up, Michaela?
All right. Well, thanks for coming, bro. And we'll see you guys next time.
Bye.
Deuces.